سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وزدنا علما يا أرحم الراحمين. ثم أما بعد, we say welcome to our Professor Syed Akmal Mahmood, to welcome to our masjid to say something about our community in UK. Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. I don't deserve to sit on a chair while you were sitting on the ground. But since I have learned that this is one of the sunnah of the Rasul Islam, may I sit?
Alhamdulillah, subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar. Nusalli ala Rasulillah, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. My dear brothers, we are passing through a critical time, particularly we who live in countries in which we are minorities. Let us start with some heartening and positive stories of such Muslim minority communities living in the Western world. I live in New York. There also Muslims are a minority community, and you know many things are happening over there. But there are success stories. Let us speak about success stories first. I pray in a mosque which is called Jamaica Muslim Center Mosque. It's a big mosque, and what is particularly important to note here is that not even 20 years back, in that area, there were many Muslims. This was a place, Jamaica, largely inhabited by black Americans, Afro-Americans. And Allah already saw that our kids, this generation, not like Britain where already we are for 3 generations or 4 generations, but in America, for the first generation, our boys, young men went there, and they are well placed, and they gradually bought the houses of the Afro-Americans, and most of the area is now inhabited by Muslims. And they have built 3 mosques nearby houses where all are in walking distances. And what is heartening is that Jamaats are almost full. Even in Fajr Jamaat, there are 4, 5 rows of Muslims. And our Imams, I want to mention him particularly, Shamsi Ali, is a great scholar. He comes from Indonesia, and he talks very eloquently and with depth of knowledge. Now, Alhamdulillah, he is accepted. Even he is invited to big political conferences. And there is our Imam from Bangladesh. His name is Mirza Beg. He is also a man of vast knowledge and the right approach. You see, approach is very important. But there is a very big leeway in approaches. The same thing can be viewed from one angle 1,000 years back. It has to be viewed from another angle 1,000 years later because of the circumstances. There is no foolhardy way. There is no foolhardy way of saying that we are doing this thing strictly like this. This reminds me of the first sectarian group called the Kharijis. You know that. Such a view. When Ali radiallahu anhu made a atat with Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. They said, no, inil hukmu illa lillah. It has been decided by Allah. Who are you to make atat with Muawiyah radiallahu anhu? You know this story. Those people were such that when Abdullah ibn Umar went for settlement to their mosque, he heard buzzing sound from their mosque. All were doing zikr. And they had calluses on their knees and their forehead. Everything was there, but they were so much strict and not concerned with circumstances. Abdullah ibn Umar had to explain to them that even Rasulullah did treaty with the kuffar. If you interpret inil hukmu illa lillah, then how could that happen? You know the story. And you see, this sort of the leader of that group, he was Tamimi group, once went to Rasulullah and he said, for some distribution of booty perhaps, he said, Ittaqillah ya Muhammad. Just think of it. And when he was leaving, Rasulullah looked at him and said, these are people who are like arrows that will pass through the target and nothing will be get out of their bodies. So, pragmatic, keeping strictly to the commandments of Allah and matters of Rasulullah, the view must be what is necessary for the Muslims. So these Imams, I was telling you, Shamsi Ali, Mirza Beg, Alhamdulillah, they speak very nicely. And there is I forget later on so that we mention, in Jamaica Mosque and some other mosques, also big mosques I have seen, the khutbah of Jummah prayer is started properly as the requirements are that there should be some Quranic verses, there should be some hadith. They start and fulfill all the requirements of khutbah, and large part of it they speak in English. Here I haven't yet seen, I have visited some mosques. In Southern Mosque also it is done. They speak English. So the congregation, I mean the audience, they understand. Now Imams place before them the necessity of how we have to live in countries where majority are non-Muslims. In the Eid prayer, last Eid prayer, there was about 10,000 strong congregation. And the males who are not Muslims, white people, they came to the congregation, they spoke, and they told us their agreement with the purpose for which Muslims stand. So these are success stories. In here also, in Britain, you have success stories. Here, about 4 generations back, people came, and now sizable Muslim communities here. And the information is like this, that in early 50s, 1950s, there was only one mosque in London, which is called the Buckingham Mosque, near the Buckingham Palace. And now the other day, I searched in the internet, and they told me that in London there is about 1,700 mosques. Such a success story. And so many madrasas, I mean religious schools related with these mosques. And our mosques, alhamdulillah, are not like their churches. I mean, I'm not dishonoring the churches, I'm not dishonoring the churches, but the churches are not places of congregation of people nowadays. But mosques are thriving mosques, 5-10 pairs. We have to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Islam has such a strong structure. By its own structure, wherever Muslims are there are mosques. So these are success stories, alhamdulillah, but we have many things to still do. For example, I've seen some of my brothers going away from the mosque. They spit on the road, they cough and spit on the road. These things happen. Well, Muslims are watched. There are many other things. Because we are watched, we must behave properly. In Britain, Muslim community has done a lot. And we are happy that Muslims as such are not thought to be somebody not acceptable. I have not yet been told by anybody of my relatives or acquaintances in Britain or America that Muslims are particularly as a community hated by others. No. But I still look forward to the day when Muslims will be such that other people will say, yes, if you are having a deal with a Muslim, be sure that you are in safe hands. We have not yet reached that goal, but we should. We Muslims should be such as in those days anybody could take shelter in a Muslim house and be sure that he is in safe hands. Today, we are not yet capable for that, but I hope for those days when Muslims will be such that other people will think that we are in safe hands. Muslim communities, wherever they have gone, they have done a lot. Historically, you see, my dear brothers, Indonesia is a vast Muslim country. I am audible to you, or are you going? It's alright?
It's okay.
Indonesia is a vast Muslim country. There was never any Muslim rule over there, but only Muslim people went there as traders, and so the whole country has become Muslim. In many countries, in India, there are Muslim rule. Maybe due to Muslim rule, Muslim little bit, not perfectly, but somehow, to some extent, Muslim laws and manners were there, and particularly there were highly religious people, saintly people like Abdul Qadir and Shahjalal Rahmatullah and so on. So many people became Muslims. In Africa, so many countries have become Muslims, and even their language have changed. Arabic is their tongue now, mother tongue. So there are many success stories, but we have to do a lot left remaining. I hope we'll do it. When I think of these things, I cannot but mention one unfortunate event that has happened recently. You see, in Britain, nobody stopped us making mosques. Our right to practice our religion has not been stopped by these people. Otherwise, so many mosques would not come up. But still then, why did we do some undesirable things for which many of the non-Muslims now think they are afraid of Muslims? Why? To think of this issue, there is some theoretical controversies among scholars. there's some ayah in the Quran which says, don't take La tattakhidhu Yahuda wa Nasara awliya, ba'dukum awliya ba'd. Such ayahs are there. La yattakhidhu al-mu'minuna al-kafirina awliya. There are ayahs like this. But all these ayahs were sent down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in particular circumstances where there was war going on between Muslims and non-Muslims. Surah number 60, Mumtahana, Al-Mumtahana. These verses came, you know perhaps, for younger brothers I can repeat it. You see, one Sahabi radiallahu anhu, Hatib, he was a Badri Sahabi. But when the kuffar were trying to obliterate the Muslims, Rasulullah at the point of time kept secret that he is going to invade Makkah. And that Sahabi, with the intention that his families, since he was not a Quraysh, his family would be given some favor by the Quraysh when things change, he sent a letter to a woman under question, Al-Mumtahana. So such a critical situation was there, and in that perspective, some ayah came down. But in that surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set down the principle of our relationship with non-Muslims. Verse number 8 in that surah, La yanhakum Allahu anil ladhina lam yuqatilukum fid din wa lam yukhrijukum min diyarikum an tabarruhum wa tuqsitu ilayhim. Inna Allah yuhibbul muqsitin. There are many mufassir who have said that this is the principle set down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, Allah does not prohibit you with regard to those who have not fought a war of religion. War of religion, you see, war in the name of religion, they have not fought with you. And they have not turned you away from your houses. With regard to them, Allah says, Allah does not prohibit you to do kindness to them and to do justice to them. Allah says, I love just those who do justice. So at present, my dear brothers, has any war between Muslims and non-Muslims been waged? Somebody will say there is problem in Palestine, in Arkan, near Bangladesh, in Kashmir. These problems are local problems. It cannot be interpreted as a war between Muslims and non-Muslims. If a war had been declared against Muslims by the non-Muslims, the picture would be different. So, our relationship should be guided by the principles set down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have my heart bleeding for my brothers. I am from Bangladesh and Arkan is near my home. My heart bleeds for my brothers. Muslims are like a body. If one part is hurt, other parts will feel it, the pangs. I feel it. I want to do everything for Arkan people. But that doesn't mean that I will wage a war between Muslims and Buddha and Buddhist country like China. Neither wisdom dictates it, nor it is proper. And particularly there are hadiths like this. Rasul says, beware, I'll be disputed against you, more or less meaning against you, if you violate the covenant, and do oppression. For example, we are here, I'm in America, you are in Britain. Haven't we had a covenant? Yes, we have had. When we migrated, sought visa, we did right. We did sign some conditions in it. So that's a covenant. We can't say that we'll do something wrong here. So for those wrongdoings, I think, so far I know, people were coming in droves to Islam. Islam is the only religion on this earth now to which people are entering. No other religion is like this. And we should know that if there is level playing field, if there is free mixing and blending, and Islam has its own structure, its own strength. You see, it's not a fight nowadays between Muslims and Christians and Jews. There is a fight. Fight with Muslims and secularism. Fight between Muslims and hedonism. It's more than materialism. People are going away from faith. And most of the minds of these educated, moral educated people are backhand. There is a field backhand which can be easily filled with faith, wahdaniyah, that only Islam has. Other religions, Abrahamic faith, they had it, but they lost it. And we have it. So, my dear brothers, my speaking today, I am not a very learned man, but we are just discussing. If we make the vow that we will do something for Islam in our capacity, if we take the vow, our speaking today will be successful. We must do something for Islam, everyone. This is an unfortunate attitude that I praise Allah and that's all. This is not all. We are a Muslim community. Who has told us that we are a Muslim community? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kuntum khayra ummatin. You are the best ummah, you are the best community. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has detailed why. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. You have been raised for mankind. That means for the service of mankind. Ta'amuruna bil ma'aruf. You will order the right thing. Tanhawna anil munkar. Forbid the wrong thing. Tu'minuna billah, and you will have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do this, is just praying enough? I heard somebody saying that this, a scholar, that praying salat 5 times, doing siyam in Ramzan, and other rukun of Islam, these are qualities of a Muslim. But what of a Muslim is what is Allah says, ta'muruna bil ma'ruf, tanhawna anil munkar, tu'minuna billah. And in another place Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Qul hazihi sabili ad'u ila Allah ala basiratin ana wa man ittaba'ani. O Prophet, you say, hazihi sabili, this is my path. Ad'u ila Allah, I call towards Allah ala basiratin, with conviction as if I see. I, you and my followers, you. So if we are followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's a bounden duty on us to spread Islam. All the people around us, they don't have the truth. We have the truth, the heart in our hand. We have to give it to them. If we don't, we'll remain responsible. Ulama say that Surah Asr is this gist of Quran itself. And there Allah says, Wal Asri inna al-insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu s-salihati tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bil sabr. So 4 conditions Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given for being free from khusra, destruction. 2 are da'wah, tawasaw bil haqq, to tell the truth, to advise for the truth, and to advise for sabr, patience. So, alhamdulillah, last 30 or 50 years, there has been a rejuvenation of Muslims. All over the world, have you marked, there has change is come among the Muslims community. In the mosque that I used to pray 50 or 60 years back, I used to see 80% or 90% old people praying. I come from Bangladesh mainly. And now it has just turned. About 80% of youth. See here, 80% youth. Alhamdulillah. This is a brilliant sign. This is a heartening sign. So, we have this rejuvenation is towards preaching Islam, giving the truth to others. This is it is binding on us. So, my dear brothers, all of you, do you think it is a binding duty on us? Please speak.
Yes, we should.
Well, I think it is a duty on me. I'll do whatever I can in my strength. Tujahiduna fi sabilillah bi amwalikum wa anfusikum. Allah asks us to do mujahada by spending our life and whatever mal we have. Sahaba cannot need it, kept the example. We cannot be short of that and claim Jannah. Allah cautions us, Araditum bil hayati dunya. Are you content with this life? Allah cautions us, Yastabdil qawman ghayrakum. If we don't, Allah will change. If this ummah does not do it, somebody else Allah will use for doing it. So my dear brothers, let us make a vow. Let us promise to ourselves, it is not telling to somebody, promise to ourselves that we will do whatever in our power to spread Islam, to give the truth, to serve mankind. People around us are hungry. There is beg from all around us. We have to just fulfill it. And if we take this vow, Niya will take us up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with us, and we will see things will be happening miraculously. You see, if you try, you see people come and enter Islam through you. These things will happen. Allah will take people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decided to give hidayah, will come into Islam through your hand. And the day of Qiyamah will enter Jannah with people behind you. You see, it has been told by scholars that even some Anbiya will be without any followers. But this Ummah, these members of this Ummah will have followers, whom they have guided to Islam. Are we not thirsty for, are you not allured by that? I am allured, my dear brothers. Let us work. Let us work and we'll be getting reward. In the hadith there is like this, الدَّوْلُ عَلَى الْخَيْرِ كَفَائِلِهِ. Those who show the path towards khair will be getting the ajr of who does that khair. If you can show somebody the path, whatever he will do will get reward. What did Abu Bakr Siddiq do? After accepting Islam, the first thing that he asked Prophet ﷺ, what is my duty? Rasul said, your duty is what is my duty. So my dear brothers, our duty is what Prophet ﷺ did. No Prophet will come after Muhammad ﷺ. Up to Qiyamah, who will do this work? You and me. We cannot rest assured by just praying 5 times. Those are our qualities. But our work is to guide people. And for that, first of all, we have to take oath that we will do it. If we take the oath, if we take the vow, Allah will guide us. And there are ulama, we have our imam, we have other scholars who will guide us. And to do this, I'll mention some points which you perhaps know, but still I can mention something which can be done. Some points I am mentioning. First, we vow that we want to do something. We want to be guides of the people around us. If we have this vow, we can do many things. First of all, at individual level we have to do it. Every individual has to do it. For example, when I am walking on the road, am I throwing the peelings of the banana on the road? Or am I taking care of it in the dustbin? I am being watched. People should not see that a Muslim does something wrong. We should remember that hadith in which our Prophet said that Iman has 70 or more branches. First branch is La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and the smallest branch is to remove some harmful things from the road. And also haya is a part of Iman. So whether I am doing it, the other day I was traveling from London to Doncaster. So I'm an old man, and my wife was with me. When I entered, there was no place to sit. Immediately, a young lady and another man stood up and gave a seat. And my wife was in tears, getting this good treatment. So these are Islamic treatments, you see. Our Prophet ﷺ has said, more or less like this. Ibn Abbas perhaps says, or Abbas will say, when he was in I'tikaf, somebody came to seek some help from him to get some problem solved. And Abbas went out of the mosque, and that man reminded him, don't you remember that you were in I'tikaf? Abbas showed the grave of Prophet ﷺ and said, I have heard from it that if anybody intends to do a favor to somebody, that is better than 10 years of I'tikaf in Masjid Nabawi. So we have to remember those things at individual level, and every time if I do not remember that I am a Muslim, I am an ambassador, I am a representative of Islam, how can I claim to be Muslim? And if I do that, I have to be careful when I move about on the road. As regards neighbor, I'll be very cautious. There was a Sahabi, perhaps Amr ibn As, he wouldn't take breakfast without sending a part of it to the Jew Yahudi, Jew neighbor. And when he was asked, he said, I heard Rasul saying that Jibreel Islam was so much advising for the rights of the neighbors that I was expecting that maybe Allah will make the neighbors inheritors of my belongings. So you see, so much important is, even if your neighbor is a Jew, even if your neighbor is Christian, you have to be very kind to them. And you see, our Prophet ﷺ, when he was doing migration from Medina to Makkah to Medina, perhaps most of you know, he had a guide. That guide was Christian. Uraikat was something his name. So you see, Prophet ﷺ, in those days, had guides which are non-Muslims. And when Prophet ﷺ expired, it was found that he had given his armor in mortgage, in pawn, for taking some wheat from a Jew. So as I told that ayah of Surah Mumtahana, in normal times, if they are not fighting with us for religion, we have to have good relations with them. So in every sphere, if I am a teacher, I have to remember that I am Muslim. I stand for some standards. If I am an accountant, I should do the accountancy in such a way that only the right things I advise. I do not give some advice for cheating the government. Well, if I do it, maybe I'll be afraid that my clients will go away. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase my clients many times. I remember a lawyer, I was told by a judge that lawyer is a lawyer known as Tablighi in Bangladesh. That lawyer, what he did, he would not take any wrong, false cases. His name was Abdul Razak, Advocate Abdul Razak, would not take any false cases. And the judge knew that whatever case has been taken by Abdul Razak is a true case. So all the cases would succeed. And that judge, that lawyer would go for one chilla during Ramadan. And the judge would say, please put the case of Abdul Razak ahead so that we can complete it before he goes for chilla. So you see, when somebody has a good intention, Allah will increase his earnings. If a lawyer does not take wrong cases, Allah will give him more practice than he did expect. So at individual level, we must be always conscious that we are Muslims. And people don't think that yes, Muslim doctor, in his hand we are safe. I may mention my daughter is a doctor, who is a doctor in New York, in Goodale University. So my daughter, what she does, when she comes back, she prays to Allah with tears in her eyes for the cure of her patients. And she's a scarf, hijab owned lady. And she helps some Afro-Americans are very poor. So she helps those patients who are Afro-American and poor and cares for them so much that recently the big hospital, they selected her as the best doctor. And I'm very proud of as her father. And I'm telling you this story. It is only because she is somehow, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, she is imbued with the idea that I must do something for these people. And in this way, if everyone of us do like this, other people think that yes, Muslims, they are the right people. As a doctor, they will do the right thing. As a lawyer, they will do the right thing. As an accountant, they will do the right thing. So everybody will do it. It's a micro effort which makes the macro success. Otherwise, if you have so much of propaganda in favor of Islam, that will not hold any good. Unless everyone works in the right way. If I am driving, I should be the person who never engages in road rage. I should be the person who allows others to have the right of way. So individual efforts are very important. Do you agree, my dear brothers?
Yes.
We will do everything in our power. First, let us start from our house. So we have to be very kind to our own kids and our wives. What is the sunnah of Rasulullah? When we enter the house, what we have to do? Assalamu alaikum. I've been told by scholars, they have taken it perhaps from hadith, there should be 4 things in our houses. Salam, kalam, tu'a, iyam. When the man comes in, he says Assalamu alaikum. Kalam, in the house there should be good speeches. Whatever speeches, not backbiting, nothing wrong, always good to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salam, kalam, there should be no quarrel. Quarreling is a very bad thing, you see. A big information we lost because we quarreled about, Prophet ﷺ came out of his tent to tell us about the Laylatul Qadr and found 2 people quarreling, and Allah took that information from him. Salam, kalam, tu'am. Tu'am means feeding guests at our houses. Qiyam means standing up at night to pray for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, we have to start from our house, every individual, and inshallah we'll be successful. At our mosques, you see, it's a very nice mosque, and you have such a good imam, several imams you have. In all the mosques, there are good imams. Under their guidance, we can do some. I just can mention. These mosques should be like lighthouses. Lighthouses of Hidayah. People around us, around the mosque should love mosque. Not only Muslims, non-Muslims should love mosques. We should create such an environment, and inshallah, if we are with ikhlas, this will be created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot do anything, I cannot do anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. You cannot guide anybody, Allah will do it. But what is required of us is to do our part. If we come here with purity of mind, with ikhlas, other things will be done subhanahu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I suggest that from this mosque and every mosque, there should be specialized jamaat to meet the people around us. I don't ask you to go and tell the people, say non-Muslim to become Muslim. No. Just go to him with hadiyah. Tell him that we have come from mosque, you are our neighbor, so please accept this hadiyah and come back. It will work wonders. Hadiyah is a sunnah of Prophet. It will work wonders. And the Imam should imbue the people, the members of the congregation, to spend their money to do this. Please don't raise money for this. These things should be done by one-to-one. We can make halqa. 2 or 3 brothers can be given this side, other that side, and they will go with training from the Imam, how to speak to them, and go with hadiyah and meet them. I also suggest that there should be a desk for answering questions of every mosque. We should show just near the door outside that this mosque allows people to ask and get answers to their questions. And maybe one day in a week, say Sunday, from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, questions will be answered. And the desk is there for answering questions, and specialized ulama will be there from the mosque to answer the questions. There are many people who want to know Islam, they don't have any opinion. I suggest also, my dear brothers, that the schools in Britain and America, they want to give their kids all the information, but they don't have the right persons to give the information. We can invite the schools, we can have this mosque, I don't know whether they have a website. Do you have a website? In the website you can give it that yes, this mosque, kids can come for visiting the mosque and see how prayer is done here. This is Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Whenever any non-Muslim would come, would keep him near the mosque in a tent so that he can see the prayer. Hatta yasma'u kalam Allah. There's the ayat, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly. So we should allow other people to see how we pray, how Quran is recited. Even if the people don't understand the meaning of the Quran, it has its own strength. So we can give in our website that we allow other people, kids, to come and watch. Of course, by obeying the rules. And I have also learned that many schools want speakers to inform their kids. We should have specialized person for this mosque and should offer resource to the schools for delivering lectures. Any schools asked to go there, we should go and speak there. I also suggest that on Eid occasions there should be invitation to other people to come and we treat them. We will not call them to become Muslim, but we just to rectify that we are not terrorists, we are friends. Muslims are the most reliable people, the best people on this earth because of Islam. Let us do it. And as regards our own community, we need certain very important things. First of all, our children. Well, I don't know the condition here, but I have seen some people in some mosques, they shout when kids come. In our mosque, Birja Beg and Shamsiali, they always tell our Musallis that these are our next generation who will come to the mosque. After we die out, who will come if we don't allow them? So kids should be allowed. We know that Prophet used to pray and his grandsons would go ahead of him, would even ride on his back. No problem. Yesterday I was praying in Thornton in a mosque, and there was a man with his daughter on the back side. And I stood there, I went a little later. So the daughter was walking in front of me, no problem. We should bear with them. Children should be allowed to come. And there should be programs of recreation and fun for these kids as far as Islam allows. So that they can think that this is their house. They be attracted to it. I don't know whether there is any members of the governing body of this mosque. Otherwise, the Imam will please convey it. That these things must be done to attract our kids. Kids are not senior dervish. You know dervish? Dervish are renouncers. The kids are not like this. They need to give them some funds as far as it is possible so that they feel this is their house. And there must be maktab. I think there is maktab here. Teaching for all the kids, not only those who are doing Heath, for all the kids of Muslims, there should be basic teachings. It's responsibility of the mosque. It is our responsibility to provide free of cost teachings to the kids of Muslims. And Muslim families must be attached to the mosque. What we are doing, there are many Muslims around here, I suppose because I have seen so. There are many Muslim families who do not come to mosque. What to do about them? There is Tabligh Jamaat who has a program for meeting those families. So we should formally, it's not a Tabligh Jamaat, is not specified, everybody can do Tabligh. The Imam, Honorable Imam, can send Jamaats to those families with gifts so that they can come to the mosque. Remind them they will come. I remember a man in my locality is not to come to mosque. One day I went with another Haji child to his house. He argued with us. You didn't come to the mosque. Alhamdulillah, after that effort of ours, he began to come, and now he's a full-time member of the congregation 5 times. And he didn't have any kids, and he has a kid, and he thinks that because he has turned towards Allah, he has given him a kid. So we have to take care of all Muslim families. Community should be consolidated. And my dear brothers, there must not be any difference between ourselves. There may be some differences of practices like Rafi Yadain or saying Amin loudly or silently. We must not fight for these small things. Our Imam says that if one does not pray 20 rakah, will he go to Jahannam? No, there is no hadith like this. Our Imam Jamaica says. If someone does not pray 20 rakahs of Taraweeh, he goes home after 8 rakahs, will he go to Jahannam? Is there any hadith like this? No. So let us not fight with those things. Let us keep the community combined, united. We must not speak anything against the people who say that I am Muslim. Anything who claims Muslim, he is cordially accepted as our brother. And last of all, my dear brothers, we must be particular about our practices like zikr, tahajjud, tilawah, all these things. These are fuels. If we don't have that, other work will not be fruitful. We must be very particular about our own practices. We must not forget to do tilawah every day. And Alhamdulillah, all the people are educated, they can learn Arabic. Everyone should learn Arabic so that he can understand what is being decided in the Salah. It's easy, it can be done. We can learn German, we can learn French, countries learn Arabic, which is the language of Rasulullah, which is the language of Quran, which is the language of Jannah. We can. So we should try that, and if we can pray for the Ummah. Ummah includes everybody. Ummah to Dawah and Ummah to Ijabah. We have accepted it, but they have not accepted, but they are also Ummah. So we have to pray for all. We should pray for guidance and hidayah for all. May Allah accept our efforts. Whatever wrong I have done, may Allah forgive me. And whatever I say is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have a little write-up of these things just for remembering. We don't need to read it now. It can be distributed now. And we can discuss if any point you desire.
If anyone has any questions to the Sheikh, please ask him. Otherwise, we'll conclude, inshallah.
Conclusion will be done by a small dua by our imams. Please. I request you, please.
There's nothing question.
I want to ask, with people, you suggested we have an information desk in the mosque so people can inquire about Islam. People should, from the community, should go to local schools and deliver lectures about Islam. What qualifications should such a person have? Because obviously they need to be English speaking, fluent in English to communicate with the non-Muslims. But how do we make sure that they are suitably qualified in Islamic knowledge and that they are giving a correct representation of it?
Yes, very good question. I am sure that the imam you have in other mosques, they're well qualified, and there are more than one imam. As what conditions? First of all, they should have institutional education on that line. At least they should be educated properly, and then only they can answer the questions, not laymen. I think every mosque is equipped with imam, several imams, and they can do it once a week, 2 hours, they can afford it. If we Musallis want, they will do it. And if we show it outside that questions are invited, these 2 hours, our imam, one of them, they can do it. And they are well qualified to do it.
جزاكم الله خير. أحسن الله إليك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا ما ذكره الذاكرون الأبرار. صل على محمد ما تعاقب الليل والنهار. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى المهاجرين والأنصار. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم يا حي يا قيوم. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم يا من له الأسماء الحسنى والصفات العلى، لا تجعلنا ننصرف من هذا المكان إلا وقد غفرت ذنوبنا. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا أجمعين. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا أجمعين. اللهم اجعل هذا المجلس مجلسا مباركا يا حي يا قيوم. اللهم اجعل هذا المجلس مجلسا مباركا يا رب العالمين، واجعل هذا المجلس شاهدا لنا ولا علينا. اللهم انفعنا بما سمعنا. اللهم انفعنا بما سمعنا. اللهم انفعنا بما سمعنا يا حي يا قيوم. اللهم لا تجعل فينا محروما إلا رزقته. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم اغفر ذنوبنا أجمعين. يا حي يا قيوم لا تجعل فينا محروما إلا أعطيته يا حي يا قيوم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، وسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم اجزي شيخنا خير الجزاء. اللهم اجعل ذلك في ميزان حسناته يا حي يا قيوم. اجعل ذلك في ميزان حسناته يا حي يا قيوم. واجعل هذا المسجد مسجدا مباركا يا رب العالمين، يشع الإيمان والنور يا رب العالمين. واجعلنا من الدعاة إلى الخير يا رب العالمين. اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا واجعلنا هداة مهتدين غير ضالين ولا مضلين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.